Alright, so we got a fun one for you guys today. If you checked out our last video, you guys know that we love taking big concepts and first proving them out with small designs. And that happened last week when we made our new best friend Nelson fly. In this episode, we're gonna take everything we learned from flying Nelson and we are gonna supersize it to over a 20-foot version. Now, we've been fortunate enough to be able to compete in the Flute now 3 different times, and this is our 4th time we've had the honor with working with Red Bull. But this time is very different because instead of us competing, we're actually designing the craft for our good friends at Kroger. And if you've never heard about the Red Bull Flute, it's basically where people build all sorts of crazy contraptions and then yeet them off the edge of a dock. We got a ton of work to do. There's 3 major components to our Kroger Flute aircraft. That's gonna be the wing, which is gonna have about a 20-foot wingspan, the body, which is gonna be about 18 feet long and it's gonna represent our good friend Nelson, and also the cart. We're gonna start with working on the wings, and that way everything is gonna attach to it.
All right, so at this point, we have all of our spars and everything made. I'm just a little bit worried with the length of these things that we're gonna run into some structural issues. So I'm just kind of taking a layer of fiberglass, putting over the whole thing, and that's just kind of marrying all the joints and stuff together. And hopefully it all holds up well. I think it's going to.
So what's the next step after this?
I have to get this one done. We have another spar to do. And then I get to start cutting angles on all of our ribs to match up because it's a swept wing. So all of the ribs have angles cut in them. I have to go through, make sure all those are cut perfectly so they line up with the spars, and we'll get all those glued in. And I think after that, it's on to covering. All right, so this thing's going together really nicely. Josh just gave me the last of the pieces cut from the Hotwire foam factory machines. I got to get these glued in, get the trailing edge pieces put on. On a plus note, like, all of this stuff just works extremely well together. We've definitely progressed from the last time we did the Flute planes. We've learned a lot. We've learned how to make our machines play better together. You know, everything from the Hotwire machine to our lasers. And I was kind of worried about these pieces fitting because I kind of built around them. Josh was busy with doing some other stuff for Flite Fest. So he got these to me and they fit perfectly. And it's not like, you know, they just kind of glue on the outside or anything. They actually slide down in a spot, and it's almost magical with how well all this stuff plays together.
Now, with our smaller prototype, we went with a full-bodied fuselage for looks. But because this is going to be viewed from the side and we don't want that extra drag, we're going to basically do 2 side profiles, so it'll look really cool from the side, but it's not going to go ahead and cause drag as it's being pushed forward.
All right, Dave, what you got going on up there, bub?
So yeah, we made a couple of changes to this. We were gonna have the person hanging from underneath, and I was afraid that they were gonna hurt their shoulders or wrists or something trying to hang underneath. So we switched it around. Now they're gonna sit on top of it. So I'm putting a piece of plywood on top so they have a nice sturdy platform to ride on. And according to Red Bull, they just have to crouch on top. Can't be over 8 foot, so we're gonna lower it down on the cart a little bit. And I kind of like it better because they're going to be able to weight shift a little easier and move themselves around. So yeah, once we get this done, we're going to get the rest of this thing covered, flip it over, do the other side, and yeah, I think we're pretty much there, aren't we?
Oh yeah, man, you're doing great.
All right, Chadwick, so what do we got going on here?
Well, right now I am currently cutting out some patterns to build on Mr. Kroger. Going to be our pilot of our big Flute rig here. So basically what we got to do, we're utilizing our laser to cut some foam board, at which point it'll provide me with a pattern to utilize our nice bow here to cut out all the patterns and assemble Mr. Kroger.
All right, sorry for the wind. We got a fan going. It's a little hot in here. But I stayed late last night. We pretty much got the wing all shrink wrapped. I don't know how to say that, but we've got the wing all covered. It's stretched, ready to go. Looks really, really nice. Chadwick's working on the Kroger guy over here, and then we have some final little wrap-ups to do, and then we're onto the cart. Should be kind of cool. You guys stay tuned. So now that we have the wing all done and the Kroger pretty much done, we've got to get started on the cart. I've got all the wood cut out, and one of the big things Red Bull is particular on is safety. So in this case, they ask that any pieces of wood be covered with some sort of duct tape or just something to keep it covered up, so that way it kind of alleviates the chance of getting splinters and stuff from it. So what I'm doing is I'm taking some black vinyl, putting it over top of all of our 2x4s before I assemble it, so that way there's no chance of anybody getting hurt from it. You guys make sure you check this out and stay tuned, because we're getting ready to get this thing fully assembled and you guys can check it out. All right, Chadwick, what do we got going on?
All right, so basically there was some slight concern in reference to the structural integrity of our Krogi characters. So what we're doing is we're adding a little bit of reinforcement utilizing recessed plywood with our router here. We're also adding a couple cross members out of foam in an effort to tie the two together to keep any of this wobble out of it. So I feel like that'll firm her all up, keep her nice and stout, keep them on this jet while we launch them into a river.
All right, so now one of the wrapping up things that we have to do here is vinyl wrap. Our good friends over at Snowbird Cine hooked us up with some vinyl. All I did was send them over the graphics and the size I wanted, and they made it happen. Now we just need to get this wrapped on here, and we're on to the next thing.
Dave did a fantastic job along with the rest of the team on building this massive aircraft. Our next step is we gotta take it apart, load it up in a massive box truck, drive it down to Cincinnati, and give our good friends at Kroger their first look to walk around and check out their new design.
Okay, so what we got here, Stefan?
We have the giant 20-foot by 8-foot Kroger Red Bull Fluke Dog Craft. A lot of words, but it's amazing. It's a work of art. Dave has done very good work. Chadwick, the rest of the team. I can't wait to see this thing soar into the wild blue yonder at the event. Ooh, as you can see here, giant wings. And it's all going in that.
That's a big wing.
That is a big wing. Big wing.
So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be packing this thing up. We leave tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in the morning to drive down to Cincinnati. We're going to deliver this to Kroger and essentially get it set up. That way, when Saturday comes, we can actually take it to the staging area. We can have it put on the ramp, and then they can finally push it off the ramp. So we're really excited to see what Kroger thinks of this. Comment down below, because unlike Nelson, this thing does not have power. It's going to be just pushed off the barge, and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen.
All right, so for the second time in a row in 2 years, we are here ready to bring out the Kroger wing. You rode good.
Looks like Nelson survived.
Rode well.
All right, so we have what, about a little over an hour. Basically, we gotta get this unloaded, get it set up.
Yeah, we need to get it down there on their, staging platform and hope for the best.
Does this feel like deja vu?
We've done this a couple times now.
But this is the coolest one yet. One of the most amazing things about the Red Bull Flute Talk is also seeing other people's imagination and crazy creations being on display and ultimately competing in the Red Bull Flute Talk. Some of our favorites this year was an incredible Back to the Future car that looked so artistically beautiful and was really well built. There's also a really cool eagle from the local zoo that was built, had an incredible head, and also reminded us a lot of the FT Easy Eagle. And we were also taken back in time with some really fun designs, like the Flying Cozy Coupe. Oh my God! And also the Flying Hoop Plane that we also tried to make RC with not much luck.
Ready, 3.
And along with that, there were so many other incredible designs too, where people really put their heart and soul and imagination and put it to the test. One of the coolest things is getting to walk around and see each and every one of these crafts before they take flight. Now the Kroger team has been so excited and working hard on their skit, but also preparing to be able to push this off the dock. Now we have lighter winds than previous years, and also the pilot has markings showing exactly where she needs to be with the hand grips, and Dave even instructed her how to do some weight shifting. The goal is once they push it off the dock, she'll be able to go ahead and do some weight shift and hopefully get a good flare right before it hits the ground, giving us a little bit of extra distance. Super Nelson performed so much better than we ever anticipated. The pilot did a phenomenal job with being able to flare at the last minute, getting us the extra distance that we needed. Now, because this was a sponsored craft, it wasn't competing, so they didn't announce the actual footage. But we definitely beat last year's record, and it definitely performed and glided farther. We're anticipating between 60 and 100 feet, depending on which angle you're looking at. And if we would have had a little bit of headwind, no doubt this would have easily hit 100 feet. Now, every year we learn a little bit more with different crafts, different styles, and different challenges from the Red Bull Flute Hog, and it's really cool getting to apply those into model aviation. Also, a lot of you guys in the comments from our last episode really wanted to see an RC version of Nelson. Look for that in future episodes, because maybe we can make that a reality. Friends, we want to thank you for being part of the Flite Test family. We want to thank each and every one of you that came out to spend some time with us while we were at the Red Bull Flute Hog, and also for opening up doors of opportunity with the great people like Red Bull. We love designing and creating weird aircraft to push off docks, but we also love making memories with friends. And you guys made both those possible. And make sure you check out next week's episode because we have some more crazy contraptions that we're building and flying, and we want to take you along for the journey. We'll see you next time.